the villains that we're dealing with are a combination of several entities, and they all have something to do with our separate stories that have been played out in each of our own individual series. So this has been going on for a while. It wasn't obvious in each individual series, but in this series you'll find out that the things that happen to all of us basically were all become because of one entity, and that's what's going to kind of tie things together. And then we'll see that, we'll understand that, and before you know it, eventually we'll fight together or not. We'll do things in a certain way. It's very difficult when you all have such strong, passionate viewpoints to kind of reconcile and make sure that everybody's on the same page. It doesn't work that way, but we'll do the best we can. There's a couple good fights in there, a few good fights. I think the ones that people will really be pleased with are the ones that I have with certain people who I'm not going to name, but I think they'll be pleased with that one because they'll get a kick out of it. Comic book stuff.
Hey everybody, that's Mike Coulter's Everything is Connected speech, all the way from the capital cities of heaven down to Matt Murdock getting doused with chemicals and getting his powers. If you're wondering what's going on, Mike Coulter was at the MTV Movie Awards, so that's what this interview was taken from. He did this funny bit with they were doing the Beauty and the Beast intro number. He put on some Wolverine claws, letting you know about the Logan Luke Cage crossover that you didn't know that you wanted. They gotta make this happen. That would be so badass. But the really important thing that he's talking about for Defenders is in how all the villains connect. So most of the time we're talking about the heroes coming together, what brings them together. It's this big villain that Sigourney Weaver's playing called Alexandra. The other side of that though is that of course the villains on all the different series are as connected as the heroes are. And before I forget, there is a new round of the Guardians giveaway too. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. I'll announce a new winner at the end of this. But the heroes, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, they all share the very general heroes calling in common with each other. Like, we're all people that are down and out on our luck trying to make our community better. We should be fighting together, not against each other, and come to find out that we're actually fighting the same people, even though it doesn't seem that way. That's a pretty easy sell, but what Mike Coulter is saying is not only does Alexandra have her hands in a lot of pies with the villains from the other series, like Diamondback from Luke Cage, the Kingpin from Daredevil, the Purple Man from Jessica Jones, and the Hand from Iron Fist, she also shares some responsibility in the fact that they became heroes, the way they got their powers. So that's really the cool thing to me, because they didn't necessarily need to do that, but it just binds the heroes in a much deeper way. And of course it totally makes sense when you think about it. Wouldn't it make sense that the ultimate villain for the Defenders had a hand in creating their own worst enemy? So going around to each of the series, what does that mean? Daredevil, he got chemicals spilled on him, that's how he got his powers. That means that Alexandra was behind that chemical truck. She probably didn't mean to give Matt Murdock powers, but he got them. Stick chased him down, and that's probably why Stick sought him out. Because that chemical truck had something to do with Alexandra's organization, Stick saw what was happening and wanted to train Matt to prepare him for this war that's coming. Moving on to Jessica Jones, the IGH Corporation, the pharmaceutical company that gave Kilgrave his powers as well as Jessica Jones and Will Simpson's pills. They're saying Sigourney Weaver's character's behind that as well. That company is trying to make combat enhancers, so that's why they're experimenting with people that can control other people's minds. That's where Kilgrave came from. They developed the straight-up combat pills that Will Simpson was using. So you have military applications, then you have Luke Cage and the experiment that they were using to try and regenerate human tissue that gave him his powers. That character shows up at the end to come for Diamondback, implying that they're going to give Diamondback the same treatment that Luke Cage got. We'll actually find out more about that pretty soon, because the showrunner for Luke Cage Season 2 is actually writing that right now. But we don't know a lot about the company that's funding Noah Bernstein's research. Now it sounds like Alexandra is behind that as well, trying to make more super soldiers. And then you have Iron Fist, whose villain was largely the Hand organization, a couple different factions. So the drugs that they were peddling were intended to make people very addicted, very docile for a big takeover attempt. So it sounds like Alexandra, using the forces of the Hand, using modern research, pharmaceutical companies, all these different things that pop up behind the MacGuffins on the different TV shows, the totally accidental ways that everybody got their powers, and is attempting to engineer a giant world takeover. Now, we really don't know what the big plan is. That's part of the MacGuffin, is like there's this big thing that they're trying to get, some goal they're trying to achieve that ends up not really mattering in the end. It's all about the heroes coming together and what that dynamic is like. But we'll probably learn more about what that actually is in the next big Defenders trailer. Because it's not dropping till August, I'm not expecting it really soon. They'll probably have a really big San Diego Comic-Con panel. But just to address the other really big thing Mike Coulter said in the interview is that it's going to be a lot of fun when they come together because they will fight amongst each other big time. If you missed it, Brian Michael Bendis is writing the new Defenders comic book. It's made to look exactly like the Netflix series. It's the same roster. It's some of the same villains, like Diamondback is the big comic book villain in the first arc. He said that because the personalities of each of the members are so strong that the team leader will shift depending on the threat they're taking on. So if Jessica Jones learns about some big problem and she's the one that brings the problem to the group, she's the one that will be the leader for that mission, and so on and so forth for Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. But like that last moment in the trailer where Jessica Jones is sitting at the table just sizing up Iron Fist, where she's just like, get a load of this, asshole. That will be where they kind of leave the group. They'll be bros by the end of this, but what Mike Coulter is saying is that they're going to fight a lot and they're not going to resolve that at all. So sort of imagine it as like a lesser version of what happened during Civil War. The Avengers are always going to argue. They have really big personalities. There's almost no reason for them to hang out on screen together because some of them are very literally gods in their own right, Thor style. Why would Thor ever need the help of the Avengers unless it was something of just catastrophic proportions? So you sort of shrink that down to street level, like Defenders level problems, and it's the same deal. Luke Cage is almost unbeatable. Daredevil is really good at what he does. He's an awesome lawyer, in addition to having badass blind ninja skills. What threat would be so great that they would all have to come together and put their differences aside? The last big tease, though, when he talks about being most excited for the fight scenes he had with a certain other person, like, I can't really say what it is, but it's going to be so awesome. And he's talking about comic book fans getting really excited because it will be genuine heroes for hire moments, just laying the smackdown on a whole bunch of people. You can bet, just because that is something that people have been screaming for so long since they started doing these characters, that they will definitely put some heroes for hire moments in the next big trailer. So if you're still confused about what the story is for Defenders, what's going on with the villain, what the plan is, that's all stuff that they stick in later trailers. So don't worry, they'll spell it all out before the series starts, and I'll be doing bonus videos too. So leave all your requests for Defenders videos in the comments below. Jessica Jones Season 2 just started shooting. Daredevil Season 3 will start shooting later this year. They just wrapped on The Punisher. They'll probably announce a release date for that in the next couple of months, but they have so much stuff happening with Defenders that that's mostly what they're focusing on. But it's going to be awesome. There's a whole bunch more comic book stuff I'm trying to get to this week. I have new Spider-Man footage, and I have my Guardians Easter eggs, so Guardians will be the next video to post, then there's new Flash. Congratulations to last week's giveaway winner, Richard Tranter. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. There was a new round of this video. I'll just announce the winner the next time I post a Marvel video. So click here for that Spider-Man trailer, and click here for brand new Flash. Thank you so much for watching. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.